This is the story of a fisherman named Shamu. He was poor and lived in a small house with his wife and 3 young children. His children were too small to help him with his work. Every morning, Shamu would take his fishing net and head to the river to catch fish. However, his net was very small and could not catch many fish, making it hard for him to make ends meet. For a long time, he had been trying to save enough money to buy a larger net. But every time he saved a little, one of his children would fall ill, and he would have to spend the money on treatment. Thus, he had not been able to buy a bigger net yet. One day, Shamu went to the river early in the morning, carrying his net. That day, he decided to cast his net at a part of the riverbank where he had never fished before. As he cast his net, he was lost in thought about how to save enough money for a bigger net. Suddenly, he felt movement in his net. Startled, he thought, "This must be a big fish." Holding on tightly, he began pulling the net in with all his strength. To his surprise, there was only one fish in the net, but it was no ordinary fish. It was golden in color and incredibly beautiful. It wasn't very large, but it was strong, as Shamu had struggled to pull it in. He thought, "This fish is so beautiful that some wealthy person might buy it to keep as a pet. Maybe I can earn enough money to finally get a bigger net." As he reached out to pick up the fish, a voice suddenly called out, "Stop! Don't touch me, or you'll burn yourself." Shamu looked around in surprise but saw no one. He thought he must have misheard. Once again, he reached out to catch the fish, and again, the same voice rang out, "Beware! Don't touch me, or you'll burn." This time, he noticed the fish's mouth moving as if it was talking. Wait, is the fish talking? Oh my! The thought frightened him. He wondered if this fish was some kind of spirit or ghost in disguise. Gathering his courage, he asked, "Who are you? I've never heard a fish talk before." "I am the Queen of Fishes. That's why I can speak to you, and you can understand me," the fish replied. "Queen of Fishes?" Shamu repeated in disbelief. He could hardly believe his ears. "Yes, if you touch me, you'll turn to ashes. But if you let me go, you'll gain much profit," the fish said. "What benefit would I get by letting you go?" Shamu asked curiously. "If you release me, I'll give you something so valuable that you'll become wealthy beyond imagination. You won't need to catch fish anymore," the fish promised. "All right, give me that thing, and I'll let you go," Shamu replied. "Do you promise?" the Queen of Fishes asked. "Yes, I promise. As soon as you give me the item, I'll let you go." "Very well, watch. I'll drop a pearl onto the sand. Pick it up. This pearl has miraculous properties. If you touch it to anyone who is sick, they will instantly be healed. And if someone is possessed by a spirit, the spirit will leave their body as soon as this pearl touches them." Shamu was overjoyed upon hearing this, because if the pearl truly had such powers, he could become very rich very quickly. He looked down and saw a white pearl, the size of a berry, lying on the sand. He quickly picked it up and, as promised, freed the fish from his net. When he returned home empty-handed, his wife was surprised and asked, "What happened? You've come home with nothing today." "I've quit fishing. From now on, I'll treat the sick. I've become a healer," Shamu declared. "A healer? Have you lost your mind?" his wife exclaimed. "Just wait and watch," Shamu replied confidently. From that day on, Shamu began treating the sick. He put up a sign outside his house that read, "All illnesses are cured here." People laughed at the sign and mocked him, saying, "Look, the fisherman has turned into a healer." For several days, no patients came to him. There was no food left in the house, and the family faced hunger. His wife taunted him constantly, making his life miserable. Eventually, Shamu decided that something had to be done. He stood near a doctor's clinic, waiting for a patient to arrive. Soon, a man appeared with his daughter, whose arms and legs were deformed. Shamu quickly approached the man and asked, "Are you here to treat this girl?" "Yes." "Why do you ask?" The man replied, surprised. "I can cure her in minutes," Shamu declared confidently. "You? Cure her? Even the most renowned doctors in the city couldn't help her. And you're just a fisherman." "I know who you are," the man said skeptically. "I don't want anything from you. Just let me touch her body, and she'll be healed." "Watch," Shamu insisted. He placed his hand on the girl's body, hiding the pearl in his palm. The man couldn't see the pearl and thought Shamu had only used his hand. Instantly, the girl's arms and legs straightened. The man was astonished. Shamu turned and returned home. News of the miraculous cure spread throughout the city. The next day, many patients gathered outside Shamu's house. He charged wealthy patients generously while treating the poor for free. Eventually, even the king heard about the miraculous healer. The king's daughter had been possessed by a spirit for a long time. He immediately summoned Shamu to the palace. Shamu touched the princess's body with the pearl, and she regained her senses, speaking happily once more. The king was overjoyed and rewarded Shamu generously. For the rest of his life, Shamu continued to treat people, never taking money from the poor. On his deathbed, he advised his sons, never charge the poor for treatment.